Let's talk about the pronunciation rules for the simple present tense, specifically for the third person singular. A quick review of the present tense. We start with the base verb walk, and it's conjugated as follows. I walk, you walk, she walks, which is the same as using a feminine name like Mary walks, he walks, or Tom walks, it walks, as in an animal like Fluffy walks, we walk, which is the same thing as saying Anna and I walk, they walk, we could also use names for that, Anna and Tom walk. Now notice only the third person singular changes from the base verb. In all other persons, we just use the base verb walk, but in the third person singular, we are going to add the letter S. And when we say walks, the ending S, the letter S, sounds like S. The sound S. Let's look at run. I run, you run, she runs, Mary runs, he runs, Tom runs, it runs, Fluffy runs, we run, Anna and I run, they run, Anna and Tom run. Again, only the third person singular changes. We add an S. And notice, runs, the ending letter S, sounds like Z. Say it again, runs, with a Z sound. Even though it has the letter S, it sounds like Z, runs. Now let's look at the verb box, as in the fighting sport. It may seem funny to talk about it boxes as in an animal, but you can look it up. They used to put gloves on kangaroos and have them box. In any event, let's look at box. I box, you box, she boxes, Mary boxes, he boxes, Tom boxes, it boxes, Fluffy the kangaroo boxes, we box, Anna and I box, they box, Anna and Tom box. And again, you'll notice that only the third person singular changes. And as you know from other studies, some base verbs require that we add ES in order to form the third person singular. That's because we can't just add an S to box and have it make sense. So instead we say boxes. And notice the word boxes ends in the letters ES, but it sounds like is, boxes. Say it again, boxes. Note, verbs that end in ES do not always sound like is. It depends on what the base verb was. If the base verb already ended in E, it's not going to sound like is. For example, the verb take. It ends in an E, but it is a silent E. I take, you take, she takes, Mary takes, he takes, Tom takes, it takes, Fluffy takes, we take, Anna and I take, they take, Anna and Tom take. And in this case, the ending S does sound like the sound S, and we'll find out why. So, how do we know which sound to make? To understand this, we need to understand voiced versus unvoiced consonants. When we pronounce some consonants, our larynx, sometimes called a voice box or an Adam's apple, vibrates. When we feel that vibration, we have a voiced consonant. And this picture shows you where your larynx is. So when you pronounce some consonants, if you gently place a finger on your larynx, you will feel a slight vibration. When we pronounce other consonants, our larynx does not vibrate. Instead, we can feel a small puff of air out of our mouths, and these are called unvoiced consonants. Here is a list of the voiced versus voiceless or unvoiced consonants. We're going to get into them in more detail. Now, the TH appears on both sides because it can be pronounced both ways. The TH is voiced in the words bathe, breathe, and smooth. It is unvoiced in the words think and math. The good news is TH is only a voiced consonant in verbs, when it's the ending letters in verbs, as far as I can tell. Here's the first rule. We're going to use the S sound, S, after voiceless sounds, like F, K, P, and T, or more exactly, F, K, P, T. For example, with the F sound, fluff becomes fluffs. K, kick becomes kicks. P, stop becomes stops. T, wait becomes waits. And it's very important to remember that what matters is the ending sound, not the ending spelling. For example, the word laugh has the final letters GH. Nevertheless, it sounds like F. This picture is a mnemonic device. It's a memory device. To remember the 4 sounds, think of this picture. 4 kangaroos play tennis. That will remind you that only F, K, P, T are going to end with the S sound. Rule 2. Use the Z sound after voiced consonants and all vowel sounds. Here are the voiced consonants: B, D, G, L, M, R, F, V. Now, most verbs are going to end with the Z sound. If you look at the chart here, we have the ending sound, the base verb, what it looks like when we spell it, and the pronunciation. I'm just going to read for you the verb in the base form and then the present singular. Listen to how the letter S sounds like Z. Stay, stays. Throb, throbs. Aid, aids. Agree, agrees. Beg, begs. More words: cry, cries. Call, calls. Calm, calms. Earn, earns. Echo, echoes. Color, colors. Bathe, bathes. Shampoo, shampoos. revive, revives, bellow, bellows. And notice two things. For the ending oo sound, what matters is the sound. Shampoo ends in two O's, but it makes the oo sound. And even though bellow ends in a W, most often that W is going to be with a vowel. And so you're going to have the Z sound. Rule 3. Use is after verbs that end in the J or the G sound. S, X, Z, Ch, and Sh. And notice we use the is sound, and these verbs will have an extra syllable. Same chart. The base verb match becomes matches. Smudge becomes smudges. Cuss becomes cusses. Shush becomes shushes. Box becomes boxes. Buzz becomes buzzes. And this alphabet chart shows you all of the sounds, ending sounds, and the pronunciation guide. Thank you for listening.